Good evening. We're going to call this regular meeting of the Farmington City Council to order. It is 7:17 p.m. on Monday, June 16th, 2025 in the City Council chambers. And the first item on the agenda is a roll call. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Bulk.
Here.
Mayor LaRussa.
Here.
Councilmember Perkins.
Here.
Councilmember Schneeman.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Thank you. Full council. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask all those who are able, please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the public that wish to address the City Council may do so. We ask that you please state your name and address for the record, and please keep your comments to 3 to 5 minutes if at all possible. And just a reminder, public comment is not a chance to interact. It's a chance for the public to address the council about items on the agenda or items on their mind in general. Is there any members of the public who wish to make comment at this time? Seeing none, public comment is closed. That brings us to item 4 on the agenda, approval of the items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support. Motion by Mrs. Bulk, supported by Mr. Parkins. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 5, approval of the items on the regular agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support. Motion by Mrs. Bulk, supported by Mr. Parkins. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6 on the agenda tonight is presentations and public hearings. The first item there is public safety promotions. Chief Ohannison, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I would like to thank you, Mayor LaRussa, the members of City Council, and our City Manager, David Murphy, for allowing me the opportunity to present two of Farmington's finest for promotion. What a crazy month it's been. Swearing-in ceremonies, retirements, fire truck push-in, and now the opportunity to celebrate new leadership within our ranks. Farmington is always progressing and pushing for greatness, and these two fine members have proven themselves ready to lead and be the future of our department. Tonight we celebrate the accomplishments of Jimmy Wren and Ryan Basler as they have chosen to embark on the paths of supervision and executive leadership. They have made a commitment to greatness both in self and sacrifice, and they have earned the opportunity to be called sergeant and commander. We expect a lot of our supervisors. However, we empower them with the knowledge and the ability to effectively lead their officers and provide for the city of Farmington. It is now their responsibility to lead by example, to mentor the next generation of leaders who will someday replace them, and to hold their officers accountable even when it's not easy. I'd like to invite Ryan Basler to stand with me. Ryan is joined by his wife Marissa and his daughter Nora and his parents Janet and Dan Basler. Thank you for attending tonight. Promotional ceremonies are big milestones in our careers, and I'm happy to see you this evening. Ryan was born and raised in Farmington. He attended Farmington High School where he met his future wife. His father was raised here in Farmington, and like his son, graduated from Farmington High School. After high school, Ryan attended Ferris State University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and attended the police academy. During college, Ryan also had the opportunity to intern with our department. After college, Ryan worked for the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks Police, and in 2017, he was hired as a Village of Pinckney Police Department, where I also started. Ryan joined the Farmington Public Safety Department on October 1st, 2018, and has been an outstanding public safety officer. Ryan serves as a field training officer while he helps mold young minds and teach our ways. And I believe he enjoys the challenges that comes along with training. Ryan has spent the last few years preparing himself for this new role. Since joining the department, he has earned 1 letter of appreciation, 4 unit citations, 1 citation, 3 life-saving awards, 1 merit citation, and 1 distinguished service award. Ryan has proven himself ready for this new challenge. At this time, I'd like to invite Marissa to come up to pin his badge upon his chest. And I'd also like to welcome our clerk, Megan Bachman, and administer the oath of office.
Ryan, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the provisions of the Charter, all ordinances of the City of Farmington, and to faithfully discharge your duties as a sergeant to the best of your ability.
I do.
Sign here and sign here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Chief, Mayor, City Manager, and City Council for this opportunity. Most importantly, thank you to my family, my wife Marissa, our daughter Nora, for being patient and understanding. Final work is difficult at times, and it's never fun being away from family. I want to thank my parents for the years of encouragement and support they have given to me, and to all of my coworkers and supervisors that have guided me through my career here in Farmington. As Chief stated, I've been part of this community all my life, and I look forward to continuing to serve you all. And this is a great place to work and live, and I'll continue to make it as such.
And now I'd like to invite Jimmy Wren to come stand with me. Tonight, Jimmy is joined by his wife, Jamie, his daughters, Hannah and Aria, his mother, Terry Wren, and his mother-in-law, Sheila Mixter. Thank you for coming this evening. Jimmy joined the Farmington Public Safety Department on September 1st, 2011, having previously served with the Clare Police Department and the Clare County Sheriff's Office. Jimmy attended Central Michigan University, earning a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and he's currently working on his master's degree at Eastern Michigan University. Commander Wren is an FTO, a firearms instructor, and a fire instructor. He has served as an officer, a detective, fire marshal, and sergeant. As a detective, Commander Wren was our first representative on the Oakland County Narcotics team, where he honed his skills as an investigator. Commander Wren also represents the department on the Oakland County All Hazardous Incident Management team and is instrumental in coordinating large events in our downtown. Over the last 13 years, Jimmy has earned 9 letters of appreciation, 2 longevity awards, 2 safe driving awards, 11 unit citations, 2 citations, 1 life-saving award, 1 director's citation, 1 merit citation, and he's been the Officer of the Year twice. And I'd like to invite his wife, Jamie, to come join us.
Do you solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the provisions of the Charter, all ordinances of the City of Farmington, and to faithfully discharge your duties as a commander to the best of your ability?
I do.
Chief, thank you. Here. It's fine.
Real quick, it's going to sound very similar to Baszler's speech, but thank you to City Council for giving us such an awesome place to work at. Last couple of years have been great. I've personally gotten to know many of you on a more personal level as we've worked on different projects. And, we've always talked about the Farmington way. And, recently, I've taken the role of recruiting, trying to get new people in here. And this is one of the best parts I get to talk about, is we're supported by our city council, our administration, and then our families. So people don't usually get that at other departments. So most of all, thank you to my wife Jamie, who holds everything together. Being on midnights, it takes a team to coordinate, and if I could show you our colorful schedule, it takes a lot. But thank you to all the families that support us, and we all get through this kind of together. But thank you, Chief.
On behalf of the members of the Farmington Public Safety Department, I'd like to thank the City Council, Mayor LaRussa, and City Murphy, City Manager, Mr. Murphy, for the support and dedication to this department. We couldn't do this without you. To Commander Wren and Sergeant Basler, congratulations on your promotion. We wish you nothing but happiness and success and safety in your new roles. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Ohannison. Congratulations to Commander Wren and Sergeant Basler. Do we want to take a short break and do some photo? Yes, I'm getting the, so we'll take a short recess, maybe 5 minutes or so, to get some pictures with family. And we'll ask the council to move out of the way.
Do you want me to ask him to add questions after this presentation? Add directions there to the agenda for the civic manager? Sure. Didn't get a chance to get it on the agenda. He was literally telling me as we were doing the motion. Okay. Okay, cool. That's fine.
Thank you.
Isn't that a great time?
You're a sucker. Yeah. Oh, man. It's like a dream. Summertime. Like, this is the only way to fly.
Like a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
7:32 PM. I heard we had an omission on the agenda that we failed to add, so I'll take a little bit of discretion here and ask the city manager to please introduce a new employee that we have here at the city.
So I'd like to introduce you to Claire Cooney. She took over, or she's taking over the Civic Theater. Would you come up and just introduce yourself, Claire?
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here and so nice to meet you all. Yeah, I'm Claire Cooney. I was born and raised in Beverly Hills, Michigan, so not too far away. And I went to college at Notre Dame and studied film, television, and theater and psychology. And so I love the Midwest. Lived in Chicago for a really long time, then moved to Los Angeles. Moved back to Michigan about a year ago and was looking for a career that is in the arts and is in Michigan because I want to be here for the rest of my life. And this felt like kismet. It was so amazing. So I'm so excited to be here to serve this community. And I have a lot of exciting ideas for the theater. I think it's really special to have a place like this, not many communities have something like this. The arts are really vital. I think they're a way for us all to connect. So I'm thrilled. I'm going to leave a one sheet about ideas I have for the future. If you want to read more about what we're planning, I'll have it over there. And I really appreciate being here. And yeah, nice to meet you all.
Welcome, Claire.
Thank you, Claire.
Yay. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Thank you, Claire. The next item on the agenda is a presentation on Commission on Aging. Kathy Marshall is up.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. I appreciate the opportunity to represent the Commission on Aging, which is a commission formed with Farmington and Farmington Hills, so it's a joint commission. Our talk tonight will be about advocacy for our older population and the remaining concerns we have about the Costic Center. To give you some history, the Costic Center is what, 65 years old? About that. So it's old, and it's deteriorating, and it's hard to find parts to fix things. A couple of years ago, the city of Farmington Hills brought in a consulting group to look at the sports activities and the recreation offered in Farmington Hills. That was not a productive, to say the least, venture for at least the Costic Center, because the recommendation at that point was to close the Costic Center and move the older population over to the Hawk. We don't find that to be acceptable, nor do the community members, Farmington or Farmington Hills. It's not suited for older individuals. There's one elevator, the parking is there are a number of issues. And I think you probably got the packet from one of our listening center sessions was sent to the council earlier. Did anyone see it? It was sent to your secretary, so I'll make sure, we'll follow up on that, make sure you get it. There's some raw data in there that would be important for you to take a look at. I'll go over just a few things tonight, but we had listening centers at the Costic Center when the same consulting group was brought in by the city of Farmington Hills to evaluate the Costic Center. These consultants are paid, obviously. This time around, it was $300,000. So we're asking for our money's worth. We want to see that the older population in these two cities have their needs met. The older population is only growing. We hear it, it's in the news, and the statistics are out there. So we really need to look at what we're going to offer our older citizens, taxpayers, at this point. Moving them to the Hawk is not an option. There are many issues with that building, which is almost to capacity now. So I don't think we would fit in there. So I'm gonna go over just a little bit of the when we had these listening sessions, we had over 100 people attend, at least one of them. 16% were between the ages of 50 and 64 years of age. 47% were between 65 and 75 years of age, and 37% were 75 years or older. Most of the participants were users of the Costic Center. 1% did not currently attend activities in the center. 15% used the center more than once a week. 61% used it 2 to 3 times a week, and 83% used it more than 3 times a week. This is a huge social hub for our older citizens. I don't know where they'd go if they didn't have it. Excuse me. So their concern was that it was fiscally more responsible to move everyone to the Hawk. That may be the case, but fiscal responsibility and moral, ethical, social responsibility are also significant issues. We have many surrounding communities that are building senior centers right now. Livonia is one of them. And we're looking at downsizing and putting ours behind the Hawk. It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. One of the major services out of the Costic Center is Meals on Wheels. As Marcia can testify, they serve over 110,000 meals a year. That is projected to increase. Many communities outsource that. And we can't outsource that at the cost of what is being spent now to provide that program. A lot of people depend on it. There are meals served within the building for Dine and Discover and various activities. There were many volunteers from the Meals on Wheels program that attended the Costic Center listening sessions, and they were very concerned that this program would not be able to function in a smaller environment. In fact, has a hard time functioning in the environment it is in now because of the antiquated equipment and the size of the kitchen. So those are major concerns. The folks attending are very specific about the pool. Yes, the Hawk has a great pool, but it's too cold. It's not set at a temp that's appropriate for individuals with arthritic joints or having trouble with mobility. What else can I tell you? There are a number, when you get this document, you can read through it. There are many anecdotal comments from our citizens. One is that when you go to the Hawk, the prices are much higher. A class there is significantly more expensive than the subsidized class at the Costic Center. So when you have people on fixed incomes, it's very difficult for them to continue to maintain those activities and social engagement when they're charged higher prices. So I think in a nutshell, we want to inform you and make sure you're well aware of what's going on. Some of our response from the Farmington Hills City Council is rather lukewarm. There will be another meeting on the 23rd, Thursday? No, Monday? Monday the 23rd at the Hawk, 5 o'clock. We would encourage anyone and everyone to attend. This is supposedly a presentation by the consulting group where they will offer options, but I think that those options really need to be clearly vetted by the community, by the people that would be using that environment. We also want to welcome anyone to the Commission on Aging meetings. We have them every fourth, except for the summer. I guess we're having our last one this month. But usually every fourth Tuesday at 5:30, and they alternate between this room and the Costic Center. Questions that we can answer. I have Marcia Coed here, who's the director for the Costic Center, and Nancy Cook, who is the Farmington rep.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Questions from the council? Ms. Taylor?
I would be interested in the commission's take on what you would like to see replace the caustic, or how we would change it, because it sounds like you're not down for moving it to the Hawk. So like, what would you like to see?
I think the most popular from the individuals using the Hawk and the commission, and we really see ourselves as an advocating body for those individuals, is to move it to the land in front of the Caustic Center. Build it there, then take the old one down and do whatever they're gonna do with that. I know, obviously, in city planning, there were plans to have other things done there, but it's really more centrally located for both Farmington and Farmington Hills, and it's not on these busy streets. It's really hard to get into the Hawk, and there are a lot of accidents there. So that's what people would like to see,
All right, thank you.
and not have an interruption of service for folks, yeah.
I appreciate your advocacy and for you sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Well, Ms. Marshall, thank you very much for coming tonight. We always appreciate getting an update. If you do come back, I think we'd also be interested to hear what else is going on the commission. I think we've been accustomed to receiving those updates on a regular basis, so you're definitely invited back, along with anyone else from the commission that wants to let us know how things are going. But we certainly appreciate you stepping up and representing seniors, in this regard on this topic, and also looking out for everybody's interests in terms of how resources are allocated to help our seniors. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget and millage rates. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Move to open public hearing to accept comments from the public for the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget millage rates.
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Schneeman, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Balk?
Yes.
Excuse me, LaRussa?
Yes.
Parkins?
Yes.
Schneeman?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. The public hearing is now open. If anyone would like to speak about the 2025-2026 budget and millage rates, please state your name and address for the record and approach the microphone. Question for the parliamentarian. Do I need a motion to close the public hearing, or can I close it? Okay, thank you.
I'll move to close public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget and millage rates.
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Schneeman, supported by Mrs. Balk. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7A under new business, consideration to adopt fiscal year 2025-2026 budget and establish millage rates. Mr. Murphy.
So I'm going to, I made up a little synopsis sheet so I don't have to read every single word on every single item. As required by the city charter and the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act, the city council scheduled a budget and millage public hearing with the proposed overall millage rate set at 18.1618 mils. The public notice was published in the open press and posted on the city's website. Included with this report is a summary of the overall fund budgets. The amounts, excuse me, the amounts in the resolution can be changed prior to the adoption of the budget. In addition, the resolution contains language to levy a total of 18.1618 mils, with 14.2318 of those mills going to general operating, 0.5500 of the capital improvements, 2.0000 mills for capital improvements millage fund, and 1.3800 mills for road improvement. On April 23rd, 2025, administration presented the 25-26 proposed budget to City Council. Subsequent to the presentation, the allocation of capital improvement millage fund levy was changed. Originally, allocation was 1.3909 mills to the capital improvement millage fund and 1.3909 mills to the general fund. The new allocation is 2.000 mills to the capital improvement millage fund and .7818 mils to the general fund. That was the last the council had requested we'd make that change. There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Any questions or comments about the budget or the millage rates? I just want to thank the council for your support to change the allocation and maximize our allocation to the capital improvement millage fund. I think that that's the right direction for the city and maximizes our progress on capital improvements, which the voters supported. If there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
Move to adopt resolution regarding fiscal year 2025-26 budget and millage rates.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
LaRussa.
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations to the administration and to the council. Thank you for getting that through. It's another year and another solid budget. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is consideration to adopt a resolution to amend residential refuse and recycling user charges effective July 1st, 2025. Mr. Murphy.
So the refuse recycling user charge is structured to cover full cost of residential refuse collection, yard waste collection, recycling, the household hazardous waste collection program, ROSSOC administrative costs, and the costs associated with the fall leaf collection program that everybody loves. The charge would be placed on the July, December, and December tax bills for residential units. Residential refuse recycling fee at $293.57 with $146.79 levied with the July 25 tax bill and $146.78 on the December 25 tax bill. Residential refuse recycling fee, bless you, condominiums and multi-jurisdictional developments without leaf collection program would be $241.85, with $120.93 being levied for the July 2025 tax bill and $120.92 levied for the December 2025 tax bill. The amount to be waived from the user fee for those residents qualifying for recycling waiver under Section 16-34.5 or the disability waiver pursuant to 16.27-5 of the city code is $160.76.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Is there any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Move to adopt resolution to amend residential refuse recycling user charge effective July 1st, 2025.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Ball. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Harkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7C, consideration to adopt resolution to amend water and sewer rates effective July 1st, 2025. Mr. Murphy.
Great Lakes Water Authority, GLWA, increased their rates, its charges to the city of Farmington by 5.68% for water and 4.31% for sewer. The proposed amendment to the fee schedule increases the rates Farmington charges to its customers by 5.7 for water and 5.7 for sewer. The additional increase is proposed to provide additional funding for capital improvements to the system. The rates will be charged as follows. Rates effective 7/1/2024 rates, effective 7/1/25 water consumption charge per 1,000 gallons. $6.59, $6.96 fixed, water fixed charge per quarter is $38.67 and $40.86 sewer consumption charge per 1,000 gallons. $8.30 and 8.77 sewer fixed charge per quarter, $45.61 and $48.20 for the average user using 11,000 gallons per quarter. They will see an increase of $14.02 per quarter.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Is there any discussion? If not,
Move to adopt a resolution amending Chapter 11 of the city fee schedule as presented, which amends the water and sewer rates effective July 1st, 2025.
Support.
thank you. Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Ms. Taylor. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7D, consideration to amend the Employee Administrative Manual and Non-Union Pay Plan effective July 1st, 2025. Mr. Murphy?
Okay, even my summary is long, so I apologize.
And it's not a summary.
I know. It's shorter than the original, but city administration is recommending the city council amend the Employee Administrative Manual and Non-Union Pay Plan effective July 1st, 2025. Listed below are the specific amendments and the rationale behind the proposed change. All of the proposed changes are contained in fiscal year 24-25 or 25-26 budgets. Funds are available for the proposed changes. Would you like me to read all those changes, or?
If it pleases the council, I think we've all read the packet.
I thought he had to or something.
Any questions for Mr. Murphy? I did have one on the short-term disability. So if somebody doesn't have a gap bank or any, do they currently get enough sick time to cover the waiting period if they have no gap bank, or do they need the gap bank in order to cover the waiting period?
The sick time covers the waiting period, I guess, if you have enough.
Right. So the allocation is enough, but if you've taken sick time and then you need to cover the waiting period, there is a potential for a portion of that period to be non-paid, because you won't have enough sick time.
If you had no sick time, no gap time, no vacation, no nothing.
Okay, so vacation time can be used to cover the waiting period for short-term disability? That's allowed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It was an interesting development, so I was curious. Thank you. If there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
Move to adopt resolution amending Employee Administration Manual non-union pay plan effective July 1, 2025.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Schneeman, supported by Mr. Parkins. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Taylor?
Yes.
Falk?
Yes.
LaRussa?
Yes.
Parkins?
Yes.
Schneeman?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. I did have one more question, and I apologize for not asking it before we pass the motion. Is the Assistant City Manager under pay grade 2 as the Planning and Building Director? Is that who that is?
No, he is in pay grade 1, aren't you?
That is not what's in the packet. That's why I wanted to ask. Only the Public Safety Director and the Director of Finance and Administration are listed as pay grade 1 employees. So I should have asked that before but I mean, it doesn't matter. We know he's getting a paycheck, so if that's another amendment we should make,
It probably is.
so can you guys just bring it back and add it at the next meeting or something? Because I think we should have caught that when we amended this.
I think you can consider that to be administrative, like a clerical correction.
Okay,
If he lets you know, and it sounds like he's willing to make the change, we can just treat that as a clerical issue.
okay, doesn't need to be amended
Not
by a
need to
motion.
come back.
Okay,
Great.
is that, all right, thank you. The next item on the agenda, 7E, consideration to, oh,
Sorry.
Mr. Weber.
I guess the planning and building director was the old position held by Kevin. And then when he retired, we created a new position, which is assistant city manager, which is what should be put in the pay grade 1. If we ever go in a different direction and we have a planning and building director again, that would probably still remain in pay grade 2. So we'll come back with a change to put the assistant city manager in pay grade 1.
Yep. Item 7E, consideration to adopt the Downtown Development Authority's fiscal year 2025-26 budget and establish the 2025 Principal Shopping District Special Assessment. Ms. Wessendorf is not here. Mr. Murphy, anything to add before we
No, I
consider the
thought
item?
The DDA director would be here. I know we talked about having we need her somewhere else, but.
Yeah, I think that's where she went.
Okay. Do you want to push this off?
No.
Okay.
If you have
I
any
think we had the meeting.
questions-
I think we had the meeting, so
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything further we need to
I don't-
discuss.
I don't think so. And if anyone has any questions, I mean, I've been at the meetings that,
Looking at the special assessment, I don't know, for the edification of the public perhaps, I noticed that a lot of the PSD properties have an exemption, and some people might say, well, how is that possible? The PSD only applies to non-residential use, right? It's only commercial use, correct? And that's why if Hillside Towns, for example, had been a mixed-use project, the portion that was for commercial use would have been able to be assessed with the principal shopping district assessment. So that's why maybe sometimes you hear us promoting mixed-use development in downtown, is because those portions of the property that are non-residential use get the PSD assessment. So I thought that was, I just noticed exempt all over. I'm like, wait a minute, these are not city properties. So I wanted to add that one. If there's no questions or no further discussion, is there a motion?
Move to approve resolution to adopt the DDA fiscal year 2025-26 budget and establish 2025-26 principal shopping district special assessment.
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7F, consideration to adopt the fiscal year 2025-2026 47th District Court, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, Corridor Improvement Authority, and joint agency budgets. Mr. Murphy, back to you.
So the joint agencies, Children, Youth, and Families is $600. Farmington Area Arts Commission is $750. Farmington Area Youth Assistance, $5,000. Mayor's Youth Council, $500. Commission on Aging, $165. Citizens Corp for Emergency Preparedness is $300. And Commission on Community Health is $175.2 or 20 cents. Farmington Brownfield Redevelopment Authority is $73,992. Grand River Corridor Improvement Authority is $15,100. 47th District Court, total appropriation is $4,369,781.
That sounds better, yeah.
City of Farmington Hills contribution is $3,537,966. City of Farmington contribution is $533,810. Other revenue is $224,167. Appropriation to from fund balances. Fund balance $73,838 and $4,369.78 respectively.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Move to adopt fiscal year 2025-2026 budget resolution for the 47th District Court, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, Corridor Improvement Authority, and joint agency budgets.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Schneeman, supported by Mr. Parkins. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7G, consideration to amend the Grand River Corridor Improvement Authority 2024-2025 budget. Mr. Murphy.
Attached is the proposed budget amendment for the Grand River Corridor Improvement Authority for the 24-25 fiscal year. Significant changes include reducing contractual service to remove property acquisition, that would be $40,000. Corridor entry signage, $50,000, and property analysis, $20,000, and increased professional services to include funding for a portion of the master plan, $24,000, and miscellaneous studies, $5,000. A portion of the master plan cost is offset by a grant revenue of $15,000.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions? If not, is there a motion?
Move to amend the Grand River Corridor Improvement Authority 2024-25 fiscal year budget.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Parkins, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Parkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7H, consideration to amend the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority 2024-2025 budget. Mr. Murphy.
So the BRA Board approved the attached budget amendment on their March 21st, 2025 meeting. Significant changes include one for the Hillside Towns project, increasing grants, other in contractual services by $590,000 for project costs incurred related to demolition environmental remediation that will be paid for through the Eagle Grant, through an Eagle Grant.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Move to amend Brownfield Redevelopment Authority fiscal year 2024-2025 budget.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Ms. Taylor. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7I, consideration to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Mr. Murphy.
This budget amendment adjusts the reallocation of employee hours from projects for water and sewer to public works, the removal of more trees than originally anticipated along local streets, additional interest expenses for the Civic Theater due to the extension of the loan from the general fund, and the increase in revenue received for personal property tax reimbursements.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Move to adopt budget amendment resolution number 9, amending fiscal year 2024-2025 budget.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Ms. Taylor. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Taylor.
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7J, street crack sealing and overband RFP. Mr. Udi, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. We have participated in the crack sealing overband RFP developed by City of Wixom for the last several years. The difference this year is that it's been awarded to a different vendor. It's been awarded to KB Asphalt. We're still doing basically the same dollar value of crack sealing this year, along with OHM doing the inspections of the surfaces. So with that, I guess I'm available for any questions, Council.
Questions for Mr. Udi? Chuck, on this map, I noticed that it was labeled 2024 Priority 1 work. Did that all get done, or are we carrying it over to 2025?
We are carrying this map over into 2025 because the current vendor, another seal coating contractor, is supposed to start crack sealing tomorrow.
Okay.
So we will update the map and provide it to the new vendor when we have the map updated here in about another 2 weeks.
Okay. And then I noticed that some roads that are labeled non-public roads are like Grand River Avenue and Farmington, and I think those are, maybe they're not ours, but I feel like those are, it's not Manor Drive where it's like that's clearly on private property.
Correct, yes. I mean, the Grand River is not ours, it's MDOT route. It's up to MDOT to crack seal it. The other non-public streets, you are correct, it's like Manor Drive, so.
Okay, so we're just not crack sealing. The roads in red, Farmington is not, they're not in Farmington's crack sealing program.
Correct.
So if somebody has a problem with crack sealing on one of those roads, that's somebody else. We will route that to the appropriate agency.
That is correct.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that. If there's no further discussion or questions, is there a motion?
Move to award fiscal year 2025-2026 annual crack sealing overband contract to K&B Asphalt Seal Coating, Inc. per the RFP pending City Council approval of the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, and allow city administration to execute the contract in the amount of $45,000, subject to any minor amendments to the final form of the city manager's office and the city attorney's office.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Schneeman, supported by Ms. Taylor. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Falk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7K, the 2025 Sidewalk Program. Back to you, Mr. Udi.
Yes, we're asking City Council to approve change order number 10, which will extend the contract with Luigi Ferdinandi for another year here. We'll be focusing on some minor sidewalk replacements over on Prospect Street, Glenview, Shiawassee, some limited on Farmington Road. Then we'll be getting to the Alta Loma subdivision. So we've got the area logged up. There is more over there to be replaced than we have funded for this year. So as we get into the Alta Loma, we will work from primarily north to south. And then anything left over will be rolled over into next year's program.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Udi? Mrs. Balk?
So I know there's always those opportunities where someone contacts you and says, hey, there's an issue here. Is that rolled into this as well? Is there like cushion for that? Is that how that works?
We have a little bit of cushion, yes. So we will slate out probably, as the contractor rolls into town, we'll probably mark off an area, leaving a little cushion. And then as additional sidewalks get added, we'll absorb that.
Thank you.
Other questions for Mr. Udi? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve change order number 10, extending the 2020 sidewalk replacement contract to, oh man, why did I say I'd do it? Luigi Ferdinandi and Sons during the 2025-2026 fiscal year not to exceed $320,100.
Bene Italiano. Support. Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Mr. Parkins. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Naaman.
Yes.
Taylor. Bulk.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7L, the South Oakland County Public Works Association, or SOCPWA, Mutual Aid Authority Agreement. Back to you, Mr. Udi.
Yeah, so this evening we're asking City Council to approve us to join as a membership of the SOCPWA, of the emergency agreement of sharing personnel and equipment during emergencies. While we weren't officially a member, back in 2011 when we had the big windstorm, we reaped the benefits of other communities coming to assist us. And they have monthly meetings, and they also do monthly tests of the emergency contact system, so asking for support. And so we have responded to quite a few of those. I can't say we haven't responded with staff and material, but we've been included in it, and we've confirmed that we are receiving the messages. So just another tool in our toolbox for when that time of need arises.
Thank you, Mr. Udi. Questions? Mrs. Balk?
Not a question, I think this is a great idea. I know that our public safety has similar relationships, and it's just being good neighbors, so I'm glad to see it. Thank you.
If there's nothing further, is there a motion?
Move to approve the City of Farmington Public Works Department to join SOCPA, Southern Oakland County Public Works Association, Public Works Mutual Aid Authority, joint and cooperative agreement for use of personnel and equipment during emergencies.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Parkins.
Yes.
Naaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Bulk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7M on the agenda is the Warner Home Improvements draw request. Back to you, Mr. Udi.
Yeah, this here is for the project of replacing the roofs at the Warner home, and including the low-pitched roof over the addition, and a few other items that need to be replaced, including some gutters and some trim work. So we reduced the scope of this project. We did not actually replace the roof on the rear porch until the committee determines the direction we're going with that rear porch. So this is just final closeout documents, and wish to have City Council approve payment to Rick Ram so we can close this contract out.
Thank you, Mr. Udi. Any questions or comments from the City Council? If not, is there a motion?
Move to approve draw request number 3, the Warner Home Grant Funding Exterior Repairs Phase 1 to R. Graham Construction LLC in the amount of $2,235.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Mr. Parkins. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Naaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Bulk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7N, firefighter turnout gear. Chief Hohannessyn, the floor is yours.
The Public Safety Department requests the purchase of 6 sets of Globe GX3 firefighting turnout gear. The equipment will be issued to new public safety officers and firefighters. This purchase is part of the approved 2024-25 fiscal year budget.
Any questions for the chief? If not, is there a motion? Mr. Schneeman.
It's a question that's adjacent to this issue, and it has to do with the amount that the city manager has the authority to be able to approve without council reviewing it. And I know we've talked about for quite some time increasing that, and I guess the question is, what is the status of that?
So when you first talked about it, I looked around and the average was right around 10,000, which is my limit. But lately, I've seen it go up to around 20, 25,000. So I will bring that back as soon as we're done with the budget.
Good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll do the motion now. Okay. Move to approve fiscal year 2024-25, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was on the,
Budget to purchase 6 sets of Globe GX3 firefighting turnout gear from McQueen Fire Equipment in the amount of $18,319.18.
support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Taylor.
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Harkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7O, the Avigilon server security camera. Back to you, Chief Ohannison.
Sir, in 2016, the department upgraded its basic video camera system. The previous system included cameras for only the cell block and front desk. However, the new system added cameras to the exterior and interior of City Hall. In 2020, the camera system was upgraded to include cameras in the downtown area, including the Sunquist Pavilion. Recent upgrades have placed additional cameras at the DPW and will expand the footprint of the downtown camera network. These cameras have been invaluable in solving crimes, observing traffic patterns, and resolving disputes. The original server purchased in 2016 utilizes Windows 7, which is no longer serviceable and cannot be upgraded. The second server, which operates the 2020 project, utilizes Windows 10 and will no longer be supported as of October 2025. The current servers do not allow for camera expansion. ASC has a server in stock that will meet the current needs of the system and allow for upgrades and additional cameras to the network. The new server will operate Windows, and I've been corrected to Server 2019 Windows Edition, which is supported and can be upgraded by Microsoft Windows. The new server is 1 year old. However, ASC discounted the cost by $5,000 and will extend the workmanship warranty from 30 days to 180 days. The service life of this new equipment is estimated to be 7 to 10 years. I included the agreement with ASC in this packet, and I coordinated with Director of Finance Jamie Pullman, and the funds are available within our Public Safety Fiscal Year Budget 2024-25 and will not require the use of fund balance. And I've invited Adam Barber, who's the manager with ASC, to join us this evening. If there are any technical questions that the council has, I would direct them to him.
Questions from the council? I have a couple. The bid opening sheet does not include ASC, so I'm curious what other bidders were considered.
Oh,
It's for the water rate study. I already know which one it is. I'm asking because I'm curious who else bid on this and what were the results.
so it was not open to other providers.
It was single sourced.
It was a single source because ASC has been our provider for a number of years, and they have intimate knowledge of our system, and it'd be very difficult to bid this server out to other providers without having them immersed in our system.
Okay. Was a secure cloud option considered as opposed to upgrading a server that will need to be upgraded again and that's already 1 year old?
Yes, that was considered. However, the concerns of bandwidth within our station to be able to view all the cameras at once, because they run up in our dispatch simultaneously, was an issue. And I was also told that the cameras that we have out in the public are not designed for cloud-based. The cameras that are cloud-based have to have some sort of storage within them. So if there is a glitch in the system and they cannot send the information, that it's saved on that camera and then uploaded to the cloud afterwards. Our system has to work 100% of the time. If, because we have prisoners in our lockup, if there's a loss of internet, we lose that ability to monitor our own cameras inside the building. Therefore, we just take all of our prisoners if we had anybody in custody to Farmington Hills. So it was considered, but it did not seem viable for our use.
How much expansion will this new server enable?
Mr. Barber?
80 cameras of the current configuration at the resolution that we currently have. And refresh my memory, how high is the resolution on the cameras that we currently have? Because I also recall some discussion about whether we would want to upgrade them anyway because we can't really.
There's a mix.
Right.
There are analog cameras that.
Right.
Megapixel rating, there are 2 megapixel cameras. Most of the cameras that are in downtown are in the 5 megapixel range.
Okay. But they're covering a wide field of vision, so you really can't.
It's spread across.
Right. I support this. I think, and nobody, it's no secret that I like love tech and like we're going to do this. But I mean, if we're going to do it, let's go for it. I mean, what would it take to upgrade the cameras? What would it take to actually do an on-prem installation that gives us all the capability that we need instead of onesie twosie here and there? I would be curious in a more comprehensive plan what that would look like to upgrade all the cameras to digital so that we can take advantage of the server capacity, because it feels like we're buying a lot of capacity that we don't need here. But I realize there's probably a minimum that you can't offer us a custom amount for our small usage. You have to give us what your minimum is for the server capacity.
Yes, but the two servers that will be replacing are not really servers, they're more appliances.
Okay.
They were kind of pieced together. This one brings them both.
And this is a single machine? And what's the backup plan if it fails?
Well, one of the servers, actually, or one of the appliances could be used.
As a backup?
It could be, yes.
Even though it's unsupported, or will be unsupported?
It's unsupported on Windows 10, we would keep it off the internet, it would have to be a very, very temporary type of a thing, just to kind of keep us up and running.
I guess that'd be my other piece of feedback is I'm curious, I would like to see a backup solution, because if this thing goes down,
I'm happy to sit down with Mr. Barber and provide you a comprehensive report.
2 devices feels better.
I agree. I think that the smaller server would keep us alive in our station. We could house our prisoners, we could monitor our front desk, we could monitor the building until we could get a server that would support adding all the cameras.
Is there a service agreement attached to this?
Dell has an on-site warranty.
Okay. How fast would a replacement unit be deployed if we said we needed one?
If we were able to keep the second appliance there, that would be a 24 to 48 hour change. Typically, we're good with it a day.
Okay. Okay.
ASC has been very receptive to service calls and questions and comments that I've had.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for bringing this forward. Always like to see the tech be the best for Farmington's finest and for all of City Hall. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
If there's no further discussion or questions, is there a motion?
Move to approve the purchase of one Avalon Vigilon NVR5 standard server model NVR5 STD 48TBS19NA from Advanced Satellite Communications Incorporated, ASC, in the amount of $28,841.08.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Mr. Parkins. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Bulk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Naaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7P, the assessing contract. Mr. Murphy.
So on May 13th of '25, I received an email from the county that had our proposed assessing agreement attached. The contract was for 3 years like contracts before, except this one was about 72% higher than the previous agreement. The timing of the notice did not give us much time to react to the increase because our budget had already gone to council and the current contract ends on June 30th, 2025. I learned from Mr. LaRussa, Mayor LaRussa, that I could ask for an extension. So I did, and the county agreed. I asked for 6 months, the county agreed to 60 days, but I will take it. I just need some extra time to explore our options and to help us make a more informed decision than what they gave us.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Are there any questions from the council? Glad we were able to get that done. Good job. If there's nothing further, is there a motion?
Move to approve Amendment 1 to the 2023-25 assessing agreement with Oakland County for 60 days unless council finds a suitable alternative in the meantime.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Naaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Bulk.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 7Q, the water rate study contract. Mr. Murphy.
So a while back ago, we've had some infrastructure problems for a long while. We talked about what we needed to do, probably bond out for several $1 million to take care of that problem. Whether we do it ourselves, whether we do it through the county, which is a possibility, it may be a possibility. Either way, we need a water and sewer rate study done. So I put that out for bid, about 6 weeks ago now. Anyways, I received five contractors that presented something to me. And that was Municipal Analytics, Bendinsky and Company, Crow, Rafaelis, and Stantec. All good companies, except I thought that Municipal Analytics, going through theirs, looking at who they've served a lot of small towns, as small as us and even smaller, with their own well system, their own wastewater treatment plants. They've also done the ones that are on Detroit Water and Sewer, a lot of them around here. So after looking at that, looking at the price, doing some research on who they are and talking to them, and getting some references, checking some references, I would ask you to go with Municipal Analytics.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Questions?
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, they're small enough, they're in Ann Arbor. I think we'll get a lot of one-on-one treatment that we wouldn't with some of the ones that are national and just have something here and there. They're going to be cookie cutter and just spit out some data to us, which is not exactly what we want. I want somebody that's going to be more hands-on and really help us out.
Questions or comments for Mr. Murphy? I think the agreement got sent separately, so all of you should have had a chance to review the agreement. Are we doing the Excel version or the water stat or water thing, water world, water wheel, what is it? Waterworth, that's what it was.
Chuck and I were discussing that earlier, and I think we want to go with that, but we want to talk about it a little more. But
I think it comes with a license too, that we can use the software and do, yeah. So the Excel spreadsheet might be a little cumbersome. And prone to. I am quite sure we have a spreadsheet wrangler here at City Hall that can handle that, but,
100%.
I'm sure Jamie's ready. Okay. If there's nothing further from Mr. Murphy on this item, is there a motion?
Move to approve contract with Municipal Analytics for a water and sewer rate study.
Support. Sorry.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, one more time.
All right, Parkins.
Yes.
Naaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 8 on the agenda, public comment. Della, do you have anything to share with the council this evening? Okay. Please state your name and address for the record. Unless you call us.
I'll be very quick. Thank you so much for having the public call. I know it's, I think, a requirement. One of the things I do want to recommend, I have my background is accounting, but it's not governmental, but it was very quick. But I was understanding the flow, what was being moved and everything. I think I invited people just something to consider. I don't want feedback. Some people may be intimidated. It's a lot of numbers, and it can be very scary and intimidating, especially if you don't have an accounting background. I'm gonna throw it out there because I know how it is when you present a budget. Ooh, it comes with questions. Maybe online an overview. Okay, this is why we're increasing, especially when it comes to property taxes. So I asked somebody to come, and of course, who's here? Just me. And they don't come. This is where your property taxes are going. This is how we're allocating out in different funds. This is why things happen. And explaining the way, this is just in my opinion, explaining the way as you doing your budget at home. You have a certain income. Stuff happens. It's life. It happens. What are you going to do about it? You know your income is this. You have to handle, you have to put priorities. What needs to be handled now? What needs to be put off? You do it all the time. And I think that intimidates people when they see this and like, I don't understand what this means. What is this type of fun? If that's, I don't know if you necessarily have to do it here because that would cause a long meeting and nobody really wants that. We all have lives. But maybe something can be posted on the website. I know you did an announcement. And again, I look at the audience, just me. But something, just an overview online. Hopefully, of course, I'm not getting those phone calls, so I'm hoping it won't, but just to explain what's going on. It was quick, but I understood, like, they were talking about sidewalks and other things, why certain projects have to be done now. Oh, we don't have it in the budget, so we got to move part over to next year. Because again, your goal is to not to continue to increase property taxes, which is going to happen, but to keep it low. And they don't understand. I'm not saying people don't understand that, but they may not realize what is being done. I get it. I see how hard you're working. I'm here all the time, most of the time, so I get it. But I just want to just encourage that. That's my only public, oh, last one, I promise to be quick. For the Farmington's Farmer Days Festival, is you can just have an information booth. And I probably need to go to the DDA committee meetings. You may see me.
Thanks, Della. Always appreciate you coming. If there's no other public comment, that brings us to item 9, city council comments. Are there any members of the city council who wish to make comment? Well, congratulations on another budget. I did go to the SEMCOG General Assembly this past week, and they distributed their year in review. So I wanted to bring a copy for everybody. I think many of you know we've benefited from SEMCOG's programs in terms of transportation planning assistance and also implementation. So the TAP grant for Farmington Road, some other things. They do have some unused TAP money, which I've brought to City Manager Murphy's attention. So if we have planning initiatives, particularly for the non-motorized stuff, or further transit-oriented development that we want to enable, an expansion of some of that. As a vice chair of SEMCOG, I'm also on the regional review committee that approves those projects, so that's how I became aware that there was undeployed funds. So if we have anything that we could take advantage of, I wanted to pass that along. But you'll see some of the data programs and other task forces. Any member of this council can serve on any of those task forces. It doesn't just have to be the SEMCOG representative. So if any of you are interested, like they had a freight task force, they had a couple of others. So if you're interested in any of their things, let me know, because I can certainly offer up that we've got other council members that would be willing to serve on any of the task forces or committees rather, that SEMCOG has. So take a look at the year in review. They had some good data in there. If there's nothing further, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn?
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. The motion carries unanimously. We're adjourned at 8:29 PM.
Adjourn.